Welcome to the deep dive. We sift through the complex stuff, the noise, and hand you the knowledge you actually need. Today, we're digging into something that causes a lot of stress for Texas employers managing, excessive sick time. It really is a tricky balance, isn't it? Keeping employees supported, but also keeping the business running smoothly and doing it all legally. Our insights today come mainly from this great comprehensive guide by the Unit Consulting. They really lay out the whole picture for businesses no matter the size. Okay, let's unpack this.
Yeah, absolutely. Excessive absences, they're not just an HR nuisance. They hit morale, they disrupt workflows, and yeah, they impact the bottom line. And the legal side, especially here in Texas with its own quirks, can get pretty complicated. Think ADA, FMLA. Our goal today is simple, really. Give you clear, actionable advice, help you balance those legal duties with keeping things fair and productive. And this applies whether you're a small shop or a bigger company. We'll get into specifics.
Okay, let's start right there with the basics. Because what jumped out at me from the Unit Consulting's guide was how much the rules change just based on how many people you employ. It's not a small thing. It's like step one to not making a huge mistake later on.
That's a perfect way to put it. You have to know which rule book you're playing by. So first up,
Mm-hmm.
businesses with fewer than 15 employees. Now, this might be surprising, but generally, these really small Texas businesses, they're not covered by the big federal laws like ADA or FMLA.
Okay, so more flexibility then.
Definitely more discretion in how you handle attendance. But that doesn't mean no rules or no risks. With a small team, one person being out, it's harder. And if people feel policies aren't fair, or if there's even a hint of unfairness, morale can plummet.
So even without ADA or FMLA breathing down your neck, you still need guardrails. Best practices are key.
Absolutely. Job one is a clear written attendance policy. And I mean crystal clear what counts as excessive. How do you want people to notify you? Call, text, email. By when? What happens if they don't follow the rules? Get it in writing, put it in the handbook, have employees sign off that they've read it.
And then stick to it, right? Consistency.
Consistency is everything. Document every absence, every warning, every conversation. Apply the rules the same way to everyone. Because even without ADA FMLA, you can still face claims in Texas based on things like race, gender, age, religion. That consistent documentation is your shield.
Yeah.
The Texas Workforce Commission, the TWC, they have good info on state-level stuff, too.
Okay, so even if termination is an option for excessive absences in these small companies, you need that paper trail.
You absolutely need it. Imagine firing someone for attendance, but you only gave verbal warnings, no records. If they claim it was really because of, say, their age, you've got no proof otherwise. The Unit Consulting's guide really hammers this home. Document, document, document. Show your consistency.
Makes total sense. Clear rules, clear proof.
Yeah.
Okay, but here's where it gets really interesting. What happens when you cross that line? 15 employees. Suddenly, things change.
They change significantly, yeah.
Yeah.
At 15 or more employees, you now fall under the Americans with Disabilities Act, the ADA.
Right, the ADA, and that means
It means you now have a legal obligation to provide reasonable accommodations if an employee's absences are due to a disability. Unless, and this is key, providing that accommodation would cause undue hardship to your business.
okay, reasonable accommodation and undue hardship. Can we break those down a bit? They sound important.
Very important. A reasonable accommodation is basically a change to the job or work environment that lets someone with a disability do the essential parts of their job. For attendance issues, maybe it's a modified schedule, maybe allowing some unpaid leave intermittently, things like that. It's not about special treatment. It's about enabling performance. Undue hardship isn't just inconvenient. It means significant difficulty or expense for your specific business. What's unduly hard for a 16-person shop might be nothing for a huge corporation. It's very fact-specific.
So how do you figure out what's reasonable or what constitutes hardship?
Through the interactive process, that's the critical ADA term. It's a documented conversation, a back and forth between you and the employee. You identify a potential disability affecting attendance, you talk to the employee about limitations, you explore options together, and you either implement something or document why you can't.
It sounds like a very deliberate process.
It has to be. You can't just guess or make assumptions. You engage. The EEOC has guidance, and again, the Unit Consulting has materials that really detail this interactive process step by step.
So let's say you do all that. You have the conversation, you document it, you try things, but maybe the employee still can't come to work reliably, or the only workable accommodation really is an undue hardship. Is termination then on the table?
It can be, but it's absolutely the last resort and requires extreme caution. If you've genuinely exhausted the interactive process, documented everything meticulously showing you tried to accommodate, or clearly proving undue hardship, then yes, termination might be defensible. But you need bulletproof documentation of every single step, every conversation, every accommodation considered, why it didn't work, or the specific hardship.
So rushing it is a huge mistake.
Huge. And potentially very costly. Always get HR or legal advice before terminating in an ADA situation.
Okay. It feels like peeling an onion, layer after layer. What's the next layer? When do things change again?
The next big threshold is 50 or more employees within a 75-mile radius. Now you're dealing with the Family and Medical Leave Act, or FMLA, on top of ADA.
FMLA, that's the one that gives protected leave time, right?
Exactly. Eligible employees get up to 12 weeks of unpaid job-protected leave per year for specific reasons. Their own serious health condition is a big one relevant to sick leave, but also caring for family, birth adoption, military family leave. And eligible usually means they've worked for you for at least a year and put in at least 12,250 hours in the past year.
So managing FMLA, that sounds like another whole process in itself.
It is. You need to inform employees of their FMLA rights posters, handbooks. You need to recognize when an absence might qualify, even if the employee doesn't say FMLA. You need to request medical certification properly, track the leave used, especially tricky intermittent leave, and crucially, guarantee their job back.
Job protection, that's key. Same job or an equivalent one.
Same or equivalent. No retaliation for taking leave. The Department of Labor has detailed rules. And, you guessed it, the unit consulting also provides guidance specifically on nailing the FMLA process.
Okay, the $64,000 question then. What if someone uses up all their 12 weeks of FMLA and they still can't meet the attendance requirements? Can you terminate then?
Yes, you can. Once FMLA protection is exhausted, the job protection ends. If the employee still can't meet attendance standards, you can address it through your normal attendance policy. However, and this is critical, you have to apply your policy consistently. You can't fire one person right after FMLA runs out, but let someone else slide.
So consistency again.
Yeah.
And documentation.
Always. Document everything post-FMLA. Document the continued absences, the warnings according to your policy. And remember, ADA might still apply even if FMLA is exhausted. You might still need to consider reasonable accommodations if the underlying issue is a disability.
Wow. Okay. So the legal frameworks are definitely complex. ADA, FMLA, state laws, company size. It's a lot to track. Let's shift gears a bit. Beyond just the legal minimums, what are the practical day-to-day things employers should be doing? What does this all mean for just managing attendance effectively?
Right, moving from just compliance to proactive management. It starts, as we mentioned, for smaller companies, but it's crucial for all sizes, with clear attendance policies. Define everything. Notification rules: who to call, by when. Documentation needed when. Is a doctor's note required? What are the steps for disciplinary action? Progressive warnings. A point system. Put it all in the handbook.
Make it impossible to misunderstand.
Exactly. Number two, which we keep coming back to because it's foundational, thorough documentation and record keeping. Keep detailed, consistent records. Every absence, every doctor's note, every email or phone call about attendance, every warning given, think of it as evidence. If you can't prove it, it didn't happen legally.
So many businesses probably fall short there, just being too busy.
It's common, especially for smaller HR departments or managers wearing multiple hats. But it's so important for protecting the business. Third is that consistent policy enforcement. Apply the rules the same way to everybody. No exceptions for the star salesperson or the person you like more. That's how discrimination claims start. Fairness and uniformity are key.
Okay, policies, documents, consistency. What else?
Supervisor training. This is huge and often missed. Your frontline managers are the first point of contact. They get the sick calls, they see the patterns. They need to understand the basics of ADA, FMLA, and your company policies. How to spot potential issues, what they can and can't ask, when to loop in HR. Untrained supervisors can create massive liabilities without even realizing it.
Yeah, I can see that happening easily. One wrong question.
Exactly. And finally, something that helps bridge support and accountability. Consider return-to-work meetings after longer absences as a chance to check in, make sure they're okay to return, reiterate attendance expectations moving forward, and just support their reintegration. It shows you care, but also reinforces the rules.
That sounds like a really balanced approach. Support and clear expectations. Okay, so we've talked about what to do. What about what not to do? What are the biggest mistakes, the common pitfalls you see businesses fall into here?
Well, they often mirror the best practices, just the opposite. Number one is definitely inconsistent application of policies. Playing favorites or just not enforcing the rules uniformly. That's just asking for trouble
Leads right to discrimination claims.
directly. Number two is inadequate documentation. Like we said, trying to justify an action, especially termination, without the paper trail to back it up, it makes your case incredibly weak.
You're left relying on memory, which isn't good enough.
Not nearly. And the third big one, often the most costly, is premature termination. Firing someone without fully exploring ADA accommodations through that interactive process, or terminating them before their FMLA leave is actually exhausted.
Jumping the gun legally.
Precisely. These mistakes don't just lead to lawsuits and settlements, they damage morale, increase turnover. It's costly all around. Good attendance management isn't just legal CYA, it's good business.
It really underscores how complex this is, especially for those small and mid-sized businesses that might not have huge HR teams. It's not just rules, it's this delicate balance. For you, the listener, really getting a handle on this isn't just about avoiding trouble, it's about building a better, fairer workplace.
Absolutely. And look, we recognize managing excessive absenteeism in Texas is genuinely complex. There are layers, nuances. It takes real expertise. That's exactly where unit consulting comes in. We specialize in this. We provide strategic HR solutions, expert guidance on compliance, ADA, FMLA, Texas laws, and really tailored support for Texas businesses of all sizes. Need help writing that bulletproof attendance policy, navigating an ADA interactive process, training your supervisors, setting up solid documentation systems, or even handling a difficult termination the right way. That's what we do. Reach out to the unit consulting. Let us help you make sure your attendance strategies support your employees and protect your business. You can connect with our team, get that tailored HR support and expertise you need by calling 956-230-6866. Again, that's 956-230-6866.
So as you think about your own business, or maybe the company you work for, here's something to consider. How could taking a really close look at your attendance policies do more than just keep you legally safe? How might it actually make your workplace culture stronger through fairness and clarity?